Hello, everybody. I'm here with my friend from Canada. He's an awesome English teacher on TikTok and other social medias. He's my friend Avery. How are you today?
Very good. Yourself?
I'm awesome now that I'm talking to you. What made you decide teaching English on social medias?
Um, so it's funny how that works. So really, I started to give a little bit of background. I
Mm-hmm.
was born and raised in the country of Canada. And for any of your viewers out there who are unfamiliar with the country of Canada, there are two official languages in the modern day, which are English and French.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born and raised in the English part of Canada, and I moved over to the French part of Canada. And initially, it was because in my past life, I used to be a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
So in high school, I had some offers to go to certain universities on a scholarship for basketball. And I ended up in the French part of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, after my time at university in
Mm-hmm.
Canada in the French part, I
Mm-hmm.
decided to stay behind
Mm-hmm.
and I start working in business, in real estate, to be more specific.
Okay.
So teaching English and helping people learn English, it's something I decided to do just because anecdotally, I had to learn the French language in order to get to the job I wanted or work in the industry that I wanted to in the French
Mm-hmm.
part of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So through that anecdotal experience, I made a lot of mistakes, too many to count. And it would make me feel better intrinsically if I could help people avoid making all the same mistakes that I did when I had to learn a new language. So I decided just as a hobby in my spare time, I would just go on Instagram, start on Instagram, move to TikTok, to Facebook, and just try to assist people with learning the English language and trying to give a bit of game, wisdom, and knowledge to help them avoid making the same mistakes that I did.
What was the feeling when you could see that you blew up on social media teaching English?
Um, it felt good. I mean, I still think I have a long way to go. Like they say, there's a famous saying. I think it was Albert Einstein. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely trying to improve every single day. But
Mm-hmm.
the more people I reach, the greater it is. I love helping people. I love direct messaging them,
Mm-hmm.
giving any advice that I can give them with
Mm-hmm.
whatever time I can spare. And yeah, I aspire to keep growing and
Mm-hmm.
keep spreading the message to as many people as possible. Whether it's one, 100, 1,000, a million,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to be consistent in how I go about it.
I agree with you because learning a second language is not easy. You said something really interesting in the beginning that we should learn from our mistakes. When
Mm.
I listened to that at the very beginning of this interview, I felt like he's completely right. If we don't make any mistake, we don't learn.
Mm.
And I like to say also, the more I learn, the less I know. Because the more you learn, you know that more you have to learn. And how does it feel for you teaching English now? What do you think is the most difficult thing to teach or to help people to learn in English?
The most difficult thing, I would say, would be giving sound advice for
Mm-hmm.
their particular situation. Because
Yeah.
what I've found after speaking with hundreds of different people from all over the world, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them find themselves in different predicaments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to give advice on things that I haven't actually experienced myself anecdotally. I say that's the biggest challenge. So that actually is good because it forces me to
Mm-hmm.
work harder. And I
Yeah.
actually go on the internet, I do research and learn more about my own language, even
Mm-hmm.
though I'm a native English speaker,
Mm-hmm.
and see if I can try to solve their problem from there.
Mm-hmm. When was the first time that you heard the definition or the title phrasal verbs?
The first time I heard phrasal verbs is honestly
Yeah.
when I started teaching and I started
Yeah.
researching my own
Yeah.
language. The
Yeah.
way a native speaker learns and a
Hmm.
non-native speaker learns, it's day and night.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask me, what does fluency mean? How
Mm.
do you become fluent? What is your opinion on that?
Well, there's the textbook definition on the internet. If you
Mm-hmm.
Google it, it'll say A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, and it'll give a description on what the level means.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I really think it really just depends on the person's goal, because for
Mm-hmm.
some people, they don't really need to learn English. It's not a necessity for their particular lifestyle,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but they just like to be conversational at a
Yes.
level where they could have a comfortable conversation with people.
Yes.
And then there's others who are, such as yourself even, who aspire to be English teachers or English
Mm-hmm.
professors, and they would need to work a little bit more in a advanced manner.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'd say fluency. It really just depends on what the person's going for
Mm-hmm.
and what they like to achieve and get out of the whole experience in the first place.
Yeah. What is your advice for students to keep motivated to study English?
I definitely have given advice in the past to certain people that you should definitely be consuming content that is relevant to your lifestyle. So for an example, yeah, when I worked in real estate and learning the French language, I intentionally listened to podcasts that had to do with real estate. I intentionally read content that had to do with real estate. I intentionally
Yeah.
improved my vocabulary that had to do with real estate. In
Mm-hmm.
order to stay motivated, the very first question I
Mm-hmm.
ask everybody when they DM me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever the social media is, the very first thing I ask them,
Mm-hmm.
what is your purpose for learning the English language?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if they have a strong enough reason why they want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
I personally, in my opinion, I believe that's all the motivation they'll need to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
The main problem that I see a lot of people facing is
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to put in the time. I've wrapped my head around that,
Mm-hmm.
but I have no direction. Where do I begin? Where do I start? How long will it take me to finish?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, I gear most of my advice around that. And I try to give them, in the most assertive and direct way possible,
Mm-hmm.
steps that they can take to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm. What about when a student gets to the intermediate plateau? How do you try to divert them from this idea?
The intermediate plateau, well, in my own experience,
Mm-hmm.
learning another language, I found that going from intermediate to advanced is really just a matter of experience.
Yes.
In my experience, it comes with experience. The more conversations I had in French on the job, the more advanced I get, the more mistakes I actually make, and the more opportunities I got to learn from those mistakes. I think another issue that a lot of people face when trying to make progress is they're too afraid of making mistakes. I think that comes from a lack of confidence, perhaps. I think there was a saying that confidence isn't thinking that you're going to get everything right. It's not being afraid of getting a lot of things wrong. So I think that in life, there's only winning and learning. There's not necessarily winning and losing. So I think the more people, if they're at an intermediate level, I'm assuming that means that they're at least conversational. So I would encourage them to get out and really try interacting in English as much as possible and giving themselves opportunities to make mistakes and then learn from them.
Yeah.
And I think just with experience and time, if you can remain consistent, which is difficult to do, especially if you are working really hard and you're not seeing results for months on end, that's very difficult to do. But I chose to stuck it out, and I could see the progress over. It took me years. So don't feel discouraged if you're not learning English overnight. It took me years to learn another language, but
and I think people should not limit themselves. Like, I already know enough. We don't. The
no.
more we learn, the better. So keep learning. For me, if you allow me to say, you are very wise beyond your years, because you're very young. I'm not going to tell your age here. If you want, you can.
Oh,
But
26. Yeah.
yeah, 26. You have told me so far things that I believe, because as a known native English speaker, learning is something that helps you, and I think it's food for the soul. So my next question for you is, how do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years, I really just started teaching people informally, probably it's almost been a year now.
Mm-hmm.
It started last June, so
Mm-hmm.
last summer.
Mm-hmm.
So currently I'm actually working on a project. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just trying to create an e-learning platform that's going to connect tutors to students. The details are not finalized yet, but
Mm-hmm.
long story short, to keep it simple, it's a place
Mm-hmm.
where English tutors, English teachers who
Mm-hmm.
desire to teach online can go and offer their services in
Mm-hmm.
a variety of different ways. And then students, it'll be my job to coordinate all of the students that I help
Mm-hmm.
and try to see if if we can find a good fit with a good
Mm-hmm.
English.
Mm-hmm.
I just plan on growing the social media outlets, trying to pass on as much wisdom as
Mm-hmm.
possible
Mm-hmm.
in the next 5 years, and hopefully just for the rest of my life. Really, I've really incorporated this into my lifestyle. I'm
Yeah.
quite passionate about it, and
Mm-hmm.
so far, I don't see any sign of stopping.
I am laughing a little bit because I absolutely agree with you. It seems like you are speaking for me, because every single word that you are saying now, I agree with you. How do you come up with the ideas for your videos on social media?
The ideas, well, the very first place I start is anecdotal experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I go around and just try to see what other English teachers are doing in the space. I try to
Mm-hmm.
look for people who are better than me. I try
Mm-hmm.
to look for teachers who are well seasoned, doing a better
Mm-hmm.
job than me, seeing what's working out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see if I can take what they're doing and see, is there any way I could do the same thing but make it better and
Mm-hmm.
add my personality to it. So
Mm-hmm.
I keep it pretty simple, just
Yeah.
anecdotal experience and study the people who are better than me in the space and
Yeah.
try to see if I can get any inspiration from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have one of the most important things for success: humbleness. Because when I started teaching, my principal, she's one of my mentors. I have 2 interviews with her here on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, the advice I can give you is be humble and go to the level of your student and teach them the best way you can. Then you can go far. And I think you're doing this. The way you explain things during this interview is amazing. I think you are on the right track and you should keep going. You are 26 and I am 44, but I can see that you have all the qualities to be big, to be huge, because you said consistency is key to learn a language. As a
Mm-hmm.
French learner yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
could tell that. Myself, as an English learner, my whole life, I can say the same thing, because once you stop, there's no anecdotal, there's no theory, there's no pragmatical that's going to help you. So you have to keep learning and to expose yourself to the language. When are you coming to Brazil to visit me and record a video with me here in Brazil?
Oh man, um, when my time permits it.
Yeah,
My time
yeah.
permits it. I've never been this busy before in my entire life. Well, I'm 26 years
Mm-hmm.
old, so I'm just beginning to
Yeah,
find a way to
yeah.
occupy all my time with a full-time
Mm-hmm.
job and
Mm-hmm.
doing this in the spare time as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really a sacrifice.
Yeah,
It's really a sacrifice.
yeah.
when all your friends are going out or doing
Yeah,
something fun, when
yeah,
everyone's traveling the
yeah,
world, you decided to, put your head down, brainstorm,
yeah,
try to network, try to
yeah,
do everything in your power to
yeah.
keep your thing going. So
I really get what you say. You're going to have an awesome way ahead of you because of this consistency that you have. The mindset that you have at these ages is amazing. It's going to take you far. I am 100% sure because you have something that we can learn anywhere. You have charisma. We don't learn about charisma. We are born or we're not born with charisma. And you have that. And I think now we can go to the rapid round game that everybody loves. My first question is French is,
complicated,
teaching English is,
rewarding,
peace is,
necessary.
the most beautiful word in French for me is,
Ooh, it's a tough one. Man, probably. There's so many.
pick one.
Exceptional. Let's go with that one.
Okay. What is the most beautiful word in English for you?
Imagination.
Being successful at my age is,
Um, it's a funny question because I don't view myself that way. I always it's the way my outlook to life. It's the mindset sort of never be satisfied. You're always looking for ways to improve.
yeah,
So I never get too complacent with
yeah,
that.
I agree. And the last one from me is my friends are
It's a luxury.
awesome.
Hmm.
Now I am on the hot seat and you can ask your questions.
Okay. Being an English teacher for me is
My life,
the most beautiful English word for me is
tomorrow,
being a content creator on social media is
cool but hard.
three things that you couldn't live without.
My family, my students, and English.
My favorite aspect of the English language is
That's a good one. You got me there. That it opens doors
I teach English
because it's the only thing I love to do, dealing with English.
my top three favorite languages in the world are
English, Portuguese, and French.
one foreign country that I desire to visit is
England and France.
and compared to Portuguese, English is
Very easy.
Okay, interesting.
Very easy. Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah. Well, I think we got to the end of the interview. I didn't want this conversation to end because I would talk to you for hours and hours and hours.
We could go on for days.
Yeah, because you are, again, very wise beyond your years. And I like to talk to smart and intelligent people and learn from them. I learned from you today. YouTube has brought me wonderful things and has brought also wonderful people to interview. And your interview was awesome. And for every guest, I have a sentence, a quote, a takeaway. And for you, it's not because you are young that you can't be as committed, as successful, and as professional as you are right now. So keep going, keep doing the good job that you are doing. I watch all the things that you post because it shows up on my For You page. And I can see that you do it very seriously, in an awesome way, in such a high level that very few people could do at your age. It was a pleasure to have this interview with you today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your time. I appreciate you reaching out to me, and I hope that we can definitely stay in touch in the future.
Of
I'd
course.
love to reach out to you again and pick your brain, maybe even
Mm-hmm.
off camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, for any of your viewers as well, students, happy to give any advice that I can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Teachers, feel free to reach out to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely willing to and happy to brainstorm and just talk and
Yeah.
network about about what we're doing because we're in the same space.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
I used to tell my friends, whatever you need me for, I am one WhatsApp message away. So just hit me up and I'm there. And for sure and definitely, I'm not going to invite you only for this interview. I can assure you that you're going to be invited back very soon.
well, I appreciate it. And yeah, let's make it happen.
You
And if
know?
you're ever in Montreal, don't hesitate. And
Of course not.
love to
Of
connect.
course not. Because I really like to meet people in person, and this pandemic has taken this away from us for such a long time. And if I travel to Canada, I'll be in touch and I'll let you know. All right.
All right.
Well, this was the interview for today with my friend Avery. I hope you liked it as much as I did. All his social medias will be down below in the description box. See you next week. Thank you. Take care. Bye, Avery.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.
See ya.
Hello, it's Rod's friend here, Gino from Real Everyday English. Sorry for interrupting your video. I just want to make a quick recommendation that you subscribe to Rodrigo's channel. He's an amazing guy, he's so humble, he's so dedicated, and he creates absolutely fantastic content. See you people soon. Bye bye, God bless.